Okay, so what do we have here? What do we have here? It looks like, guys, we've made it. We've made it. It is the end of version one. I know you're all so sad. It has to end. We've had some good times. We've had some bad times. Nevertheless, this is the end of the road for our dedication here. What we have in the last section here is our return to the human form. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here. Let me take a step back. First, we are on the top of the mountain after we rode the train enough to see Hollow. He tells us to go up here because we're gonna go fight Nurgle. We just gotta go up to his moon base. It's gonna be easy. So yeah, Hollow tries to make us a bridge. It's gonna go extremely well, and there's not gonna be an entire plot quest line to go on after this, right? Totally, totally. So you guys know how the playthrough works here. I do the spoilers here because I am an English player in a Japanese game. So to explain to my fellow English viewers who don't really care about this story, um, I'm gonna tell you guys a little spoiler section about what happens today in the Lag Chronicles. Yes, yes. One day the lag will stop. I'll just get a better computer or something. I don't know. But today here on the top of the mountain. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna go have Hollow build a bridge. The bridge breaks because it is not stable enough, and Nurgle has powerful poison powers. He's got the power of the P, right? Because of that, we have to go build a flying boat, flying ship to take us to the top. But the boat maker, his ancestors haven't made boats in forever, so we have to change back to our human form so that Hollow can then send us to the paths. So today's just going to be a lot of cutscenes. We're going to see some old faces here that we haven't seen in a couple months. And we're gonna do some cosplay action. I think I actually do the salon quest as well because I haven't done that with this character. So I'll show you guys a little salon side quest as well. How about that? I hope you enjoy. That was our story spoiler section. I got that done pretty fast because this is going to be a pretty quick and easy episode here. Um, and what I have for you today, something spectacular, of course. I am getting used to doing these Reddit stories and sort of imparting my knowledge onto you through the lens of other people. Because I feel like I have a unique perspective of not hate, but of charged ambivalence towards the human race. Yeah, and you see the bridge is it gets knocked down immediately. Yikes. Yeah. So I'm very complacent. Not complacent, but humanity is what it is. It's probably never gonna change. Yada yada yada. And I have this perspective that allows me to be very conscientious of my actions, very choosing of my words around people and around events, which I think makes me a prime subject for being the observer in these stories and just giving you guys my opinion because I am right all the time, no matter what. No matter what. No matter what. So, remember that, guys, as we move on to the story of today. It is an am I the asshole? Am I the a-hole? I think it's far enough in this video for me to say that. Yeah, we're about a minute in, about a couple minutes in. Am I the asshole for telling a child no? See, that's the thing. It's not you that's the asshole usually in this situation. Of course, it depends on what you're telling the child no about. But we all need to experience some form of no, some form of failure at some time. And as a child, it's very important that your parents give you a couple of no's before you step out into it. This seems like a this is a pre-read, of course. I've read this before, but your parents should really teach you some no's beforehand. But the problem here is that she wasn't just telling the child no, as you'll see soon. She was also having to tell the parents no and a bunch of other children, and that's sort of the root of the problem here. Um, Humans in general, in themselves, are group thinkers. We are hive minded. So when we see someone else want something, we also want that something. It's just how we work. You can't get around that or get annoyed by that. It's human nature. It's in you as well. I promise you. There's no one in this world um, that doesn't see someone else and be like, I want to do that. I want to be that. That's how we actually want things. And you don't just get a pop into your head of how you want to be in the future. You, of course, see someone else older than you living a life that you want to live, and then that's what you model it off of. So back to this story here. I'll just go ahead and start reading it for you guys. It's a pretty good one. This is female, I believe. Or this could be a guy. There's no gender mentioned. I'm guessing it's a female because of the task involved. They say recently at a school event, the teacher asked if the parent group I'm a part of could provide cookies and cocoa. I thought it might be nice to provide things to add to the cocoa, so in this case, marshmallows, whipped cream, and sprinkles. Very cute. This must be a young event or somewhere very cold. Because I feel like if it was somewhere very cold, I wouldn't mind being like a freaking high schooler or something, getting some hot cocoa. That would be pretty sweet. But nevertheless, we get into the main issue of the story here. It actually has to deal with these extra toppings. So let me go ahead and take a drink here and then we'll get into the rest of it. Let me get back into Dragon Quest Realm 2. We are actually changing back to the past as well in this cutscene. And we're going to talk to the wetty girl that we took over the body of. All right. Fun stuff. So the story continues. I had the child tell me she doesn't drink hot cocoa and asked for just a cup of whipped cream. Note, she and her friends were the first in line. As she ate the chocolate chip cookies, I'm fairly certain it wasn't an allergy to chocolate, just a preference to not drink cocoa. As soon as she asked, the five other kids wanted just the cup of the whipped cream too, so I could see where this would end up. So I told her no, that I was sorry. I only had a limited supply of whipped cream, and if I told her yes, I'd have to have everyone do it too, and people behind her in line wouldn't have enough of the cream to add to their cocoa, which is reasonable. I offered her a cup to grab some water, but she stomped away mad. 5 minutes later, her mom came up and asked for a cup of whipped cream, and there was another immediate chorus of people wanting cups of whipped cream too. So I explained again about the whipped cream and the people in line, and the mom stopped away mad. Yeah, mother like daughter, huh? A teacher who was attending the event with her child and not connected to the class or the parent group, only had a child in the class, came up and asked with the predictable round of "Me too." Yeah, here we go. I again explains there's still a line out the door, down the hall, and only having a certain amount of whipped cream available. If I say yes to this child, I'll have to let everyone get cups too, so I'm sorry, the answer is no. When this unconnected teacher caught me with my back turned, she took the whipped cream away and gave it to the child, which started an avalanche of folks wanting the same thing. So I kept having to say no, sorry, for the next 45 minutes until everyone made it through line. I will say that we didn't end up running out, but the last person to use it got the very last bit out of the last can. So am I the asshole for saying no and for being mad at the person for doing it anyway? there's a couple of layers to this. And I think their reaction is, well, first of all, let's take a step back here. Your reactions are always what make you the asshole. It's not what you do. It's not because usually what we're doing is just trying to solve a problem. But our reactions to how other people solve their problems are usually what make us assholes. You're not an asshole for inherently doing something that doesn't hurt anybody else and just tries to solve the problem, push the world forward, make it through your day. You know? You're not an asshole for that. So I would say if you acted civil when the lady took the cream away or whatever, and and you're never gonna be an asshole for having an emotion. I hate that last sentence. Like, am I an asshole for getting mad? No, you're an asshole for how you reacted because you are mad. And from the nature of this story, I am inclined to believe that they didn't act an ass out in school in front of all these kids and teachers and parent conference, whatever. I have a feeling that they did their thing. Like I said, like they said, the whipped cream, it lasted barely, but it lasted the whole thing. And I'll get into some comments here as well. The comments are fairly interesting. Some people had some good ideas here. Some people had some interesting perspectives here. But mine is definitely not the asshole. They don't seem like they were trying to do this maliciously or just trying to ruin some little kid's day. It's a classic trolley situation here. You guys know the tale of the person who's got the switch and there's three people on one lane of the train tracks and the train's heading towards them, and then on the other side of the train tracks there's one person. um and you gotta switch the lanes. You gotta keep it going towards three people or switch the lane to make it go towards just one person. It's outweighing the needs of the many to the needs of the few. And to me that makes sense. That just makes sense. She's the one who decided to bring in extra condiments and extra things, so she feels a little bit attached to that. And I understand that. I understand that. It was your idea, it was like an extra thing on top. She probably, I keep calling her a girl because it just seems so fucking female what she's doing here. But if it's a guy, I apologize. You just have feminine traits. Sometimes I have feminine traits. We all have feminine traits. Speaking of feminine traits, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. We're back to human now. By the way, it's a pretty good cutscene there. Nice stuff. Um, and we're gonna get on to the cosplay and reframing my hair and makeup here, which is gonna be pretty fun. But in general, I don't think they're a bad person. I don't think they're a bad person at all. It's just a matter of how um other people are being a little juvenile, and it's very hard to not be juvenile when you hang around a bunch of kids. Let's be real here, guys. They're going to bring you down to their level unless you have a lot of restraint in yourself. So that's why um a lot of these parents, I think who was it? Yeah, the faculty staff is the one who actually broke down and said, "Just give them the whipped cream," instead of having these kids experience some kind of failure, not failure, but um rejection, which you need in life. Not everything's going to go your way. And I feel like some of these kids that got their fucking whipped cream cups are going to go in the future, and then there's going to be like a Five Guys somewhere and it'll be like, "We don't have any pickles," and then they're going to shoot the cashier or something. Just fucking shoot him in the head. Just fucking, you know what? Had enough of your shit. Had enough of your shit. If they had whipped cream, I know. I know. They got pickles. They're in the back. Bow, bow, bow. You know, it's gonna be something stupid like that. So to avoid the pickle massacre of 2030, you gotta stop giving them whipped cream. But we'll get into some of these comments here. I am collecting my clothes. Wow, that was an old one. Happy New Year. Holy shit, that was an old one. Yeah, that's about a year old then. That's crazy. No, wait, I don't know why that says Happy New Year because whatever. I'm getting my other mail that I sent to myself. I probably just wrote it forever ago and didn't decide to send it until now. Get a little hint to who our character is right here. The moral character. I mean the main character. Yeah, don't mind my stupid letters to myself. I'm a very silly person, as you can tell. I play this silly MMO that looks very silly in my silly life and make my silly music. And I sillily. Let's read some comments. Um, First comment says, not the asshole, but this would turn me off from ever volunteering for this stuff in the future. I definitely agree. I hate volunteering in general, but volunteering definitely it puts that egg in your mind because I have really good customer service. And if I was volunteering, I would just constantly think, man, doing this for free. Hold yourself. Yeah, I have to constantly hold myself back from like exploding on someone for telling someone no for something completely normal, not a big deal, but they're overreacting, which causes me to overreact, and then I'm like, well, I'm here for free, as there's no point in this, and then I get in my theatrical state, my vengeful state, and think, what's the funniest way I can embarrass this person? I do that a lot, especially when I work in retail. Back when I was working in food, I like to do that. Just have that thought. What's the funniest way I can embarrass this person? And usually it results in me asking them a question that they're just dumbfounded by. And I can give an example. I can give an example. Hold on a second. Take a drink of coffee. So let's say I'm working at a juice bar and the person orders a drink very specifically. Let's say they want they're being annoying and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I really hate this part. I hate the apples in this shake, so I really don't want, the apples in there." Um or whatever the case. Or yeah, see, here's a good example. I don't like sugar. So any fruit with sugar in it, you have to take out. It's not a lie. This is not fake. This is something that someone actually said to me, and I just had a horrible flashback of it because this is kind of crazy. So we kind of go through the motions here of explaining that most fruits have sugar, but I can give you the ones that don't, or the ones that have the least in them. Natural sugars and all that. Um, so we do that. We do that, and then basically when they get up to checkout, when they get up to doing their thing and paying for their stuff, and they try their drink, and they're like, "Oh, this is good." I'm like, "Yeah, all the sugar additives I put in it was great," um, or something like that. And then after that, the follow up question would be, "How is your non-sugar diet going?" Very loudly, of course, just because I'm just curious. I'm just curious, And that's how you have to approach a lot of situations that you feel a little vindictive, a little vengeful, a little like, oh my god, I hate this person. Approach it with curiosity. And less malicious intent. Of course, when you have malicious intent, you need to be curious to find out what you're gonna destroy them by. But You know, neutral curiosity goes a long way. And you may say, this isn't very embarrassing or vengeful or funny, but in my eyes, I'm a little bit of a weirdo. In my eyes, doing that to me after I said some crazy stipulation or something insane that I wanted in a drink, that would kind of put me on the spot. And I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that. Why are you asking questions about me? And then I have to answer, and then I have to discuss my life and thoughts, validate my opinions, give up backing evidence. And honestly, guys, if you are honest and purely innocently curious about people and ask the right questions, they will usually dig themselves into a hole. Logically. Logically. So I would need the person here, obviously, because or at least the people that I interrogate will dig themselves into a hole. If you allow me to interrogate you and keep asking you questions, then you'll eventually say something that I'll be like, okay, and then you'll leave, and then I'll make fun of you for it because you're stupid. But that's my retail life. I usually have a lot of fun with my coworkers if they are cool people, or the cooks, managers, whatnot. Sometimes I do get into it with managers because I generally am not a fan of authority, and I tend to do things without being asked, and it threatens a lot of bosses sometimes. So if I have like the wrong kind of boss, just naturally the way I work is threatening. It's like, oh, this guy's trying to do my job. He's trying to show me up. I get that a lot. I get that a lot. Which I'm not inherently mad at. It's just a result of not being a hard worker, but being like a work in silence type, or whatever type of worker I am really. Let me get back to the game real quick. We only read like one comment, but whatever, fuck it. I kind of got into that little tangent there. I am building the cosplay now, and we are in the desert doing the glamour quest. You basically just have to kill these leafy guys. They look like weed. And I'm having a hard time finding them in this desert. I don't know why I chose the biggest map for this, but they're in a different map. I didn't bother cutting this out because I felt like I just needed more time to talk. More yap time. You guys like to hear my voice, right? And then you can see me create my cosplay here without the glamour and without the coloring effects. So this is what we're gonna be wearing. And eventually I'll give up and I'll go to the other area. We're just kind of bouncing through the desert right now. No worries. Nether comments. Uh, why not give the kids the same amount of whipped cream you could have put on top of their cocoa? See, I think that's an idea that could have worked, but the problem is if they get back in line and ask for more whipped cream, like in 5 seconds. Of course, she said the line was super long, right? So they could get back in line and ask for more whipped cream, or they could just come up and ask for more whipped cream, not even getting in line, right? Or they could be like, that's not enough. It's not enough. They could be Kendrick. They could be Kendrick and say, well, fuck it, I want more. I want it all. Give me the whole can, just like the teacher did for her. So it's a solution that could work, but only if they're being reasonable. And by the looks of it, no one was being reasonable. I mean, this is whipped cream she probably bought out of her own pocket, guys. And you're just all like, I want it. I want it. And who are these weirdos that are just eating whipped cream? Like, what the fuck, guys? Can we be real for a second? That is so unhealthy. After having cookies, you're just gonna have whipped cream? You don't want, like, actual chocolate and milk? course, milk isn't the healthiest thing ever for you, but I feel like as a growing child, it's like healthier than whipped cream. Just plain whipped cream, like a plain cup full of cream. I don't know. I feel like she probably saved some lives here. OP responds, that would have been a good compromise, but I didn't think of it at the time. I was the only one pouring cocoa and handing out cookies, and I didn't take time to think it through, but I'll keep it in mind if there's a next time. Hmm. Seems like this event was a little short staffed. If she was asked by the parent teachers to hand out cookies and cocoa and she was the only one there, that's kind of a job. That's kind of like a task. I guess she wanted to do it though. I definitely am not down for volunteer situations like that though. That just sounds so like taking advantage of. Nowadays, definitely, but it's become sort of a journey. But I'm really working on just working for myself. I've done a lot of things. I've earned a lot of skills, but usually I do it for other people, and I gotta just grind skills for me. Where are my vocation points? I'm investing points in everybody else except for the only person who really matters in my life because I have to live with this guy. Uh, there's no way I'm gonna separate from this guy, so I gotta do it for Mark. I gotta do it for Mark. So yeah, the volunteering thing. It seems like they really took advantage of her, especially the teacher just taking her whipped cream away. I mean, it's her whipped cream. I'm over here making the damn cocoa. Bring your own whip. See that I would have accepted if the teachers saw that and then grabbed their own whipped cream from the food teacher faculty lounge and was like, "Yeah, here, use this." Because I mean, like they got to make coffee, right? They got to have whipped cream for that or something. I don't know. A lot of people don't like coffee with their whipped cream, but coffee. I really said that. Yeah, I hate it when they put coffee in my whipped cream. Disgusting. Oh, Jesus. Let me go back to the comments here before I make fun of myself more. Honest to fuck, I just have decided nobody gets whipped cream and point out exactly who they could blame for ruining it for everyone. See, that's an option too. That's an option too. Guys, the whipped cream was her idea. Once again, nobody else was forcing her. Nobody else asked for it in the first place. It wasn't like specifically requested for like, hey, we need whipped cream with the hot chocolate. No, no. Um, so yeah, I think when it's something out of the heart, like imagine this. So, um, I'll create a scenario for you. We all have special straws for the party that is being hosted, and the host of the party only has enough straws for everyone there, and then someone else invites like a random plus one, and they don't get a straw, and they're all like disappointed. That's the energy this gives. Like you weren't invited to this whipped cream fest, okay? So you should be thankful that you even get hot cocoa at all. I'm just amazed that someone can just reject hot cocoa. I'm guessing it's like winter and it's like, it's getting cold out. And they ate the chocolate chip cookies. Like, that's the thing. You're going to eat the cookies too? Ain't no way, dog. You can't explain this work. So there's no chocolate allergy. You just don't like drinking shit. You just don't like drinking shit. And you just want whipped cream. But yeah, I definitely understand the stipulation of not wanting to give it to them because, like, the high fucking mindedness of people. So very hive minded that they definitely would have ran out if it went any other way if she didn't stand her ground. But that's the result of caring for people too much. Um, she held her ground and she did not emotionally lash out, which is good. Um, but the level of care that's here, a lot of times with these Reddit stories, I just hope they heal because there's no reason to be posting these. You should just like, oh, it happened in my life. Maybe I'll tell it to somebody I know or something like that. A lot of people don't have people in their life to talk to. Um, I don't really, but that's mostly by choice. Mostly by choice because if I have nobody else to talk to, then I'll talk to myself more and create more content. So I'm sort of like charging my communication skills. And it's not that I don't feel like anybody in my life is like worth talking to or like worthy of my presence. It's just I don't feel like it. And you got to do what you want. Cuz then it's not going to be genuine if you're just doing what you feel like everybody else wants you to do. And then they're going to feel that and it's not going to be an actual productive like daytime event whatever you're doing with each other. You should really only spend time with people, girlfriend, friend, husband, family, otherwise, if you really want to. Or if it's a special event and you're just going through the motions. But I've been beating myself up a lot over my decisions. I'm gonna try my best to not beat myself up over this one. I feel like, at least I feel like I've been making quality stuff, doing fun stuff for myself, and I enjoy watching it. I do have to work on that though because I'm so like shark minded that I don't even go back and watch my own videos more than once. Watch it, give it a like, that's done. You know. I don't like to run through the past too much. Which is why I'm happy, guys. If you're wondering what's going on in my life, I still do have the old job. I won't tell you guys where I work or anything, but I still do have the old retail job here. I'm not working from home quite yet. And I'm happy for it because I can go to my retail job, which is very boring, usually very not busy, usually. Of course, it is holiday, so that may change. But I can go there part time and just watch my YouTube videos, put on my headphones, watch my own videos, edit some chapters in. But I'm very happy for the life that I've created for myself. And we've finished the quest for the salon. We've got our cosplay. We've got our lag. It's a beautiful time. So, guys, that is almost the end of the episode. What we are going to do last thing here is I'm just going to do the daily for you. Um, because I almost have all my cosplays here. I think I'm going to do the daily first, and then I'll get my last cosplay character in. Another reason why I really wanted to do this um, solo quest is so I could dress all of my party members because I am a fucking weirdo. Um, but I love it. I love it, and I hope you love it too. I mean, like you've watched this far in the video. It's like 30 minutes in, guy. I don't know why you're doing here if you hate me. Um, but nevertheless, I appreciate your hate or love. A thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you want to do. However you feel fulfilled in your life. I am preaching the word of fulfillment. Oh my goodness, I almost knocked my coffee over. That was close. Because if you're not fulfilled in your life, it's gonna break everything else down. If you're not fulfilled in your life, you're gonna be chasing your partner, chasing love, chasing money. You just have to do whatever you feel gives you that sense of like accomplishment. And hopefully it's something productive, like a hobby or something. Hopefully you're not just gooning, and that's like that's what gives me confidence. Hopefully you're not just randomly gaming away, or I don't know. Video gaming is the one thing that I can think wastes time, but I really don't. I'm one of those idiots that is not in the opinion that playing a game that brings you happiness wastes your time. It is a hobby, but like every other hobby, there it can be detrimental to you if you take it the wrong way. Um, but what I'm preaching in fulfillment is something that produces something, something that creates something. And there are games when you can create things, but if you're just, Call of Dutying away every night and just mindlessly shooting people, you know, maybe find a different game. Maybe find a different game. A game where you can actively create things and engage your creative muscles. And I think you can do that in Duty. Like you can create your logos or whatever, but everyone is fulfilled in a different way. I can't tell you what to do for yourself. So in general, I'm going to be very vague. Um, Vague with objectives in life and all that stuff here. We have our daily boss here at the end. It's the last key emblem boss that we did. It was a pretty fun boss too. I like that story. My general technique with these key emblem bosses is to just stay far away and let the druid handle everything. Um, there is technique to these bosses when you are a low level with the sumo and whatnot. There's just not a lot of damage you can do. So staying as far away as possible allows you to see what the boss is going to do next and react to that. So that's why you see me running very far away. Um, it also helps if they're targeting you. That boss is actually very slow. So if they target you, this is a time-based battle system. And your partners can get multiple turns in while they're walking towards you to try and beat your ass, essentially. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I like the gameplay in this game because there's just a lot of movement and menuing. And once you figure out what all the moves do, it's pretty satisfying. Satisfying. I like that guy's mummy costume. That's cool. Yeah, the glamour in this game is really nice, as you can tell. And then now that we've done the daily, I'm gonna get our last party member here for our cosplay. And then we're gonna go ahead and end off. We're gonna finish up. We're gonna finish up. I'll leave you guys with one more hot cocoa comment. So this guy says, not the asshole, as a room mom for many years and countless headaches. Welcome to volunteering at a school. Hang in there. You will learn from it much. You will learn from each experience, and the teachers really do appreciate the help, despite the bad behavior of the one in this story. Yeah. If it had just been kids, oh, the OP says, if it had just been kids, I think it would have been okay. The headaches are caused by the parents. That's true. That's true. Yeah, that teacher is definitely an asshole for overstating authority. Like, as an authority figure, you're just going to overstate somebody else's authority. That's kind of fucked. That's like you shouldn't be teaching. You shouldn't be an authority figure for children. But nevertheless, we're done. See you guys in the next one.